Great guest today, and you're going to be excited because she is in the podcast world. Are you excited, Bobby?
I love podcasting.
Yeah, all right. So our guest today is Monica Samuels, the host of Inside the Moms Club. It is a strong example of how authentic conversation can evolve into a growing business centered on connection, content, and community for women navigating major life transitions. I think this is absolutely, you're also, you have a best-selling book, Comeback Moms, as well. Monica, thanks for stopping by. But I honestly, hearing this, community, 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 community is so important if you want to be successful as an entrepreneur or successful in any area. Would you agree?
Absolutely, absolutely. And we started this during the pandemic, and that's when we realized how important it really was. The show originated from what the pandemic, and like people really want connection. They really want to be with other people. And so that's been the extension of it for our show is we want to encourage people to get together and be with their friends. And the whole show is about friendship and women's friendship and supporting one another. And so it's been great. But the pandemic really brought it all to light to start out with.
Yeah, and the pandemic did. So when was the moment you realized Inside Mom, the Moms Club was becoming more than just a podcast? I figured that out in my brand as well. At one point, I said, I'm creating a community and have no idea I'm doing it by building my agency, but through a lot of all my guests and relationships that I've built in 15 years. But how did you kind of realize that it's more than just the podcast?
I think it was when we started doing some live shows. So we did some live events and live shows, which you can see on our YouTube channel. And I would go to these live events, and these women who were in the audience would come up to me because they'd been listening to our show, and they treated me just like I was another one of their friends. I mean, they had gotten to know us through the show, but I felt like I just had thousands of friends as opposed to my five close friends, which is what the show is really based on. So it's really the moment I started actually meeting the people directly that I'm like, you know what, this is bigger than just a podcast or a YouTube channel or whatever it's destined to become. This is a community. This is something much bigger.
This is absolutely huge. I mean, and see, congratulations on how you've grown your community. How many members do you have in your community?
We don't have an exact number of that we can point to of like we have a fan club of X or whatever, but what we have seen is our YouTube channel has been growing at about 4,000 new subscribers a day internationally. So in July, we had a YouTube channel, and being a mom who's kind of learning this stuff, and I have to ask my kids, hey, tell me about YouTube or tell me about TikTok or whatever. I had 1,000 subscribers in July on YouTube, and I was like, you know what, we need to start focusing maybe on that more. And since then, we have I guess we have 330,000 subscribers as of yesterday. So from
Wow.
July to today, we've grown that much. And so once people see it and it caught on, it's been growing like crazy. And we're on all the other platforms too. Although,
Great. I mean, but you have the right fit. And part of this club is to really provide these things that the challenges that moms are going through all the time. And it's different types of transitioning, isn't it? In your
oh yeah,
conversations and all that.
oh yeah, we interviewed Missy Peregrine from CBS from the FBI show, and she had just came back from maternity leave, and you could tell that she was really struggling with leaving her family, to work. And we were there as older moms who'd been through it, kind of supporting her. And she even looked like she was about to cry and made me almost want to cry. But she had the toddler moms, and then you go through the middle school years, which are really rough on moms. Those are kind of some of the toughest. And then high school, and then they go off to college, and then you're an empty nester. And so there's all those phases of a mom's life that you go through, and it's different each time. And so we're there to support other moms. We have a motto on our show: if you don't laugh, sometimes you're going to cry. So the whole basis of the show is, let's give every mom an opportunity to exhale, no matter what point she is in her mom journey. Take the time, don't get too caught up in it. Take that time to exhale, laugh, find the humor in it, find the joy in it, and no matter what's happening, because there are going to be some rough periods, but you'll get through
Yeah.
it.
So Bobby again is big into community. How important is community, Bobby, and how you grew your businesses?
Well, I mean, it's pretty much everything in the sense that, how do we spread any good message unless we have community to help us and, to help us reach out. So the community is just so big, and I love what you're doing, Monica, because you've obviously established a phenomenal reach, and only good stuff can come from that.
Right. And what have you seen from this notoriety? Your growth in your YouTube channel from only 1,000 subscribers to whatever number you said now, which is
That's Monica, right?
getting a lot of opportunity, the community to grow because of this huge number of subscribers.
Oh yeah, it really does start to take off, and that's what's happened with us. It just has taken off, and so we're seeing that on YouTube. In fact, I do two things. I do the podcast, and where we interview guests, and we've had really great guests. We've talked to Carney Wilson and Missy Peregrine and Melissa Gilbert, and we got some really great guests. Lori Berkner, who's a children's music star, is going to be on our show soon. So we've gotten to meet some really great people. But the other thing that I do is I do these funny videos for social media. So on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, I just do these little sketches of different types of moms, which one of my personal favorite is baseball mom, because I was a baseball mom. And I really, sadly, and I hate to admit it, I was that crazy person, one of those people that I don't know that I ever thought my son was going to play professional baseball, but I was just keeping up with the other baseball parents. So at one point when he was 9 years old, he had three coaches. He had a speed coach, a pitching coach, and a catching instructor. And at that point, he came to me and said he thought he was being overscheduled, which he was right. But anyway, my character is that crazy mom that you see at the baseball field that she's got her cowbell and she's obnoxious to the umpires and the whole 9 yards. And so when I do those sketches, you immediately see the comments are pretty funny because people see themselves in that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I wanted to touch base on this part because this is the important thing in the community is why do most women underestimate what reinventing themselves in later in life? What is the reason most women underestimate about reinvention? It's hard, right? Empty nesters over, it's time to try something new, especially if they gave up their career to raise their kids and now want to get back into it, or they had a certain career before but now they have more time to really focus on something that their hopes and dreams are. What do you think of the challenge? Because I think that's what women are really facing a lot.
Yeah, they are. And I think what we're trying to do, or what I'm trying to do, is sort of shift the paradigm. And I'm not the only one doing that. There's other women now. There's Mika Brzezinski has Know Your, and Forbes magazine does the Know Your Values for women to kind of appreciate how they can do other things beyond motherhood. But I think what happened over time is we all lived in this man's world of, well, you go to college, you get your career, you're a big shot in your career, 20s, 30s, 40s. Then about 50s, you're at the top of your career. And then you sort of tail off and you retire. Well, if you're a mom, you're about in your late 40s, 50s. That's when your kids are leaving. So you can't just retire with, I mean, a lot of people do. They retire with their husbands or retire with their significant others and live in that world. And I believe that we need to shift the paradigm where we say, okay, you know what? You're a mom. If you take the time off, because I actually wrote a book about this called Comeback
Mm.
Moms, where we talked about women reinventing themselves. You take the time to be the mom, you take the time off from your career, but you're still very valuable because there's so many things that moms do that is so valuable in a career. You
Right.
multitask, you do so many things. So just let's say, okay, you know what? We're going to be with our kids. We're going to be moms. Then when they move off to, you raise them, and if you raise them well, they don't stay with you forever. You go on to what you're going to do, and then we accept the fact that women in their 50s, 60s, 70s, or that's when their peak career, if they're going to have another career or reinvent it, that we accept the fact that, hey, that's not unusual for a woman to be doing that at that age. That's exactly what we expect. And that's what we need to sort of think more like that than, well, what are you doing? You're an old, you're old. You're
It's never
your
too late
60s.
anymore. I mean,
Exactly.
I'm 53. I'm about to grow another business, and I'm not looking to ever to retire. So
Right.
I see, and the opportunity to start from zero to something is so much better with having the right community, having the right advice, learning from other people in that community to see how it goes instead of learning all the hard knocks that other people do by
Yeah.
building into a people that can throw that information because we all there's so many people who have an idea and they stop instead, oh my gosh, this is one of the greatest ideas in the world. You just need somebody else to help this to make this implementation happen, right? And that's
Right.
and that's why you looked at the same thing and shifting the paradigm with the show to say, okay, now I'm going to build this community. I'm going to build this huge network that I'm going to be able to help so many women. So, what is your ultimate goal of how many women you want to help? Do you have
Oh,
a number?
billions,
I
actually.
love it. I
I want
love
to be
that.
the Oprah of moms, I think. I see it. The sky's the limit because there's billions of moms out there in the world. I mean, we're not talking, when we look at our YouTube channel, I was talking to my social media guy and I'm like, a lot of these comments are in other languages. And I said, I hope they're not saying this is the worst thing I've ever seen, just another language. He said, no, there's a lot of laughing and smiling emojis next to it. So I'm pretty sure they're all great comments because there are moms internationally. I mean, there's moms
Yeah,
everywhere. So we're all kind of experiencing
absolutely. Absolutely.
variations of the same thing. So I see it as a big, giant international community where we all appreciate that part of our life that's being a mom, and we we support one another. And that's the big thing too. I really
Right.
believe it's important for women to support one another.
Right.
That was the one thing when we wrote Comeback Moms, my co-author and I, she was a Wall Street Journal reporter. So we interviewed 100 women across the country, and we would ask each one, we'd ask each one of them, who was the worst boss you ever had for supporting you in your journey as a mom? They all said it was another woman. And so at one
Oh,
point, JC and I were like, are we writing the wrong book? Should we be writing about how women just don't support one another? We want to shift that. So we want to remind women, hey, support each other. Don't try to one up another woman or tear another woman down or whatever is happening out there. Let's all be very supportive of each other, and then we'll all do better.
absolutely. Bobby, any points to connect and how important in your industry of affiliate marketing, how moms are really a great lifeblood of building the business, and they see that opportunity.
Yeah, well, I think we'll have a separate conversation with Monica that, Monica, we're in the space of not only being able to show people how to earn an income, that so many people need. Like you just talked about careers, and we've got some technology that's out of this world, and from a health standpoint. So I'll share that with you, and then there's a way to monetize that with your influence of people. We could have a good chance of helping a lot of people, not only health wise, but financially, and it's a win-win for everybody.
Absolutely. Well, that's
Yeah.
great. Where can people, if there are women listening that are feeling stuck in transition, what's the first practical step they should take toward building something meaningful, Monica?
I think just assessing where they are themselves, and then, well, they can read my book, Comeback Moms. It sort of tells you how to do the process of doing that. But I think just assessing yourself where you are, and then also looking like, where do I really realistically want to be? And then taking it from there. And honestly, there's so many resources now that if you want to start a business, you can go on. I mean, AI is a mixed bag, obviously. Google it. How do I start a business? Go talk to your kids. The one thing that's interesting to me is now your husband can also be a support. So I will give a lot kudos to some husbands out there. They're very supportive. But your kids, sometimes if you say, "Look, I want to do this, but I'm technologically a pathetic mess," and I will admit that
Right.
myself, they'll actually pitch in and they'll want to try to help you. And I've seen so many women start these businesses, and they'll write a book. There's something they want to do. The first thing you've got to do is you've got to step in and do it. Probably
Exactly.
one of the worst things. When I wrote my book, I went to some book authors conferences, and I think the thing I heard over and over again is about 10% of you will actually finish the book that you're writing right now. And then how many of them will actually get published? It's very small, but most people, part of writing a book is people want you to finish it. They don't want to read the half of the book that you wrote. So you got to follow through, because there will be stumbling blocks along the way, obviously. and you just got to keep going. I mean, you can't, and that's the thing I love about the moms. I've met so many moms that have started different things. I have a mom that I know that she created an app. She's been working on this thing for 3 or 4 years. It's a great idea. There's plenty of reasons why she could have given up. She's not given up yet.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
you got to start, and then you have to have finish,
Exactly.
and that's the hardest thing.
All right. So where's the best place people can check out your podcast, check out information about your book and all those things? Where's the best place?
We are on YouTube, obviously, at Inside the Moms Club. It's and on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. It's at Inside the Moms Club. My book is available on Amazon. It's called Comeback Moms, and I wrote it with JC Conklin, so you can check that out. And if any of your listeners would be interested, and once they watch our show, we have what's called Zoomer Moms. And these are women from around the country who come onto our show. I introduce them, and they get to ask the guest a question. So they get to be a host for at least one question. And some of them take advantage, like my sister, when I asked her to be a Zoomer, she felt privileged and she asked 2 questions. So, but they get to be part of the show. So if any of your listeners are interested in that, they can go to our website, insidethemomsclub.com, and sign up to be a Zoomer.
All right. Thanks a lot, Monica. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for
All right.
having
And
me.
go to next4million.com and check out Boston Bobby. Appreciate it. That was a special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show in the Next 4 Million podcast.